Welcome back to Trend Stars, your ultimate hub for the biggest celebrity stories, music legends, pop culture moments, and everything that sets the world on fire. Today, we're diving headfirst into some absolutely earth-shattering news that's left the music scene, fans, and pop culture enthusiasts reeling. The one and only Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, the undisputed godfather of heavy metal, the electrifying frontman of Black Sabbath, and a reality TV pioneer, passed away on July 22, 2025, at the age of 76. This isn't just a moment to mourn, it's a chance to celebrate a man who didn't just make music but invented an entire genre, redefined what it means to be a rock star, and turned his chaotic, hilarious, and heartfelt family life into a global TV phenomenon. So, crank those speakers to 11, throw up those devil horns, smash that like button, and let's embark on an epic, no-holds-barred journey through the life, legacy, and unforgettable impact of Ozzy Osbourne. Drop your favorite Ozzy moment, whether it's a bone-rattling riff, a wild stage stunt, or a laugh-out-loud TV scene, in the comments, and let's honor the legend together right here on Trend Stars. Let's kick things off with the news that hit us like a freight train on steroids. On July 22, 2025, Ozzy Osbourne passed away, just weeks after delivering a heart-wrenching, soul-stirring farewell concert in his beloved hometown of Birmingham, UK. His family released a statement that cut straight to the core. It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at this time. Signed by his wife Sharon and their children Jack, Kelly, Amy, and Lewis, it's a powerful testament to the tight-knit bond that defined the Osbournes, even under the relentless glare of fame. No specific cause of death was shared, but Ozzy had been brutally honest about his battle with Parkinson's disease since 2019, not to mention the physical toll of decades living the rock star life, think wild nights, substance abuse, and the wear and tear of countless high-octane performances that left stages soaked in sweat and chaos. Yet, through every health scare, every surgery, every setback, Ozzy fought like hell to give his fans one final, unforgettable show. Let's send a massive wave of love to the Osbourne family. Drop a heart emoji in the comments. Share your favorite Ozzy memory, whether it's a song that gave you chills or a moment that made you laugh. And let's show them the Trend Stars community is here for them in this tough time. To truly grasp Ozzy's impact, we've got to rewind to where it all began, way back in the gritty, smoke-filled streets of Birmingham, UK. John Michael Osbourne, born on December 3, 1948, grew up in Aston, a working-class neighborhood where life was tough and dreams were hard-won. His parents slaved away in factories, his dad worked nights, his mom made car parts, and money was tight in a family of 6 kids. Ozzy wasn't exactly set up for stardom. He left school at 15, dyslexic and restless, bouncing between odd jobs, plumber's apprentice, car horn tuner, even a stint in a slaughterhouse. But music was his escape, his salvation. As a kid, he was obsessed with the Beatles, whose melodies and raw energy lit a fire in him. He'd later say meeting Paul McCartney was a pinch-me moment, thanking him for inspiring him to pick up a guitar. In 1968, at just 20 years old, Ozzy teamed up with guitarist Tony Iommi, bassist Geezer Butler, and drummer Bill Ward to form a band called Earth, which soon became Black Sabbath. Their sound was dark, heavy, and raw, like the clang of Birmingham's factories turned into music. Their 1970 self-titled debut, with tracks like Black Sabbath and The Wizard, was a shot across the bow, but Paranoid later that year was a full-on revolution. Songs like Iron Man, War Pigs, Paranoid, and Children of the Grave weren't just hits, they were anthems that defined a new sound. Here's a wild fact. A music critic once trashed their music, saying it sounded like heavy metal clanking together. Most fans would have sulked. Ozzy and Black Sabbath said, "Hell yeah, let's own that." And just like that, heavy metal was born. Black Sabbath went on to sell over 70 million albums worldwide, influenced everyone from Metallica to Nirvana to Slipknot, and earned a well-deserved spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006. Ozzy's voice, raw, haunting, almost primal, was the soul of the band, and his wild, unpredictable stage presence made every show feel like a battle cry. But Ozzy's story didn't end with Black Sabbath, far from it. By the late 1970s, his struggles with alcohol and drugs were spiraling out of control. He was a mess, missing rehearsals, passing out mid-session. And in 1979, the band fired him after one too many chaotic incidents. It could have been the end. Most people would have faded into obscurity. But Ozzy? He was just warming up. Enter Sharon Osbourne, his manager and soon-to-be wife, who saw a spark in him when others saw a train wreck. With Sharon's fierce belief and business savvy, Ozzy launched a solo career that was nothing short of explosive. His 1980 debut, Blizzard of Oz, introduced guitar prodigy Randy Rhoads and delivered iconic tracks like Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, and Suicide Solution. The album was a masterpiece, blending bone-crushing riffs with catchy melodies that hooked millions. Ozzy followed it with Diary of a Madman in 1981, featuring Over the Mountain and Flying High Again. Tragically, Rhoads died in a plane crash in 1982, a loss that nearly broke Ozzy, but he pushed forward, working with guitarists like Jake E. Lee and Zakk Wylde. Albums like Bark at the Moon, 1983, The Ultimate Sin, 1986, No More Tears, 1991, and Osmosis, 1995, gave us hits like Shot in the Dark, Mama, I'm Coming Home, No More Tears, and Perry Mason. His solo career was so massive that he earned a second Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction in 2024, a rare honor that puts him in the same league as legends like Paul McCartney. And let's talk about his stage antics. Ozzy wasn't just a singer. He was a force of chaos. In 1982, he made headlines by biting the head off a bat during a concert in Des Moines, thinking it was a prop, or so he claimed. A year earlier, he bit the head off a dove at a record label meeting, just to make a point. Shocking? Hell yes. Iconic? Absolutely. From leather jackets to purple sunglasses to dousing crowds with water, Ozzy turned every show into a spectacle. He racked up awards, multiple Grammy wins, ENMY's Godlike Genius, Classic Rock's Living Legend, the 2015 Ivor Novello Lifetime Achievement, and stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and Birmingham's Walk of Stars. Ozzy wasn't just a rock star, he was a cultural tsunami. Then came the moment that flipped his career into a whole new universe, the Osbournes. In 2002, MTV cameras stormed into Ozzy's Beverly Hills mansion, giving us an unfiltered, chaotic, and surprisingly heartfelt look at his life with Sharon and their kids Jack and Kelly, Amy and Louis, stayed out of the spotlight. The result was pure, unadulterated magic. The Osbournes wasn't just a reality show, it was a cultural earthquake that changed television forever. From Ozzy fumbling with a TV remote and yelling, "Sharon," across the house to epic family arguments over dog poop, teenage rebellion, or who ate the last slice of pizza, the show was raw, hilarious, and real. It pulled in millions of viewers, becoming MTV's biggest hit at the time and paving the way for modern reality TV giants like Keeping Up with the Kardashians or The Real Housewives. We saw Ozzy as more than the wild-eyed metal god. He was a bumbling, lovable dad who adored his family, even if he couldn't figure out how to work a microwave or keep the dogs from trashing the house. Sharon, a brilliant businesswoman who'd been steering Ozzy's career since the 70s, was the rock holding it all together, balancing her role as mom, manager, and TV star with razor-sharp wit. Jack and Kelly became household names, their sibling banter and teenage antics stealing the show. The series ran until 2005, but its impact is still felt. Every reality show that thrives on family chaos owes a massive debt to the Osbournes. For a new generation, this was their introduction to Ozzy, not as the metal icon who shredded stages, but as a quirky, foul-mouthed dad with a heart of gold. It humanized him, showing the world that the Prince of Darkness was also a family man who'd do anything for his kids. Ozzy's health battles added a raw, human layer to his larger-than-life story. In 2019, he revealed a Parkinson's disease diagnosis, which brought mobility issues, tremors, and pain. Combined with multiple spinal surgeries, including a major one after a 2018 fall that left him with metal rods in his back, and the lingering effects of decades of drug and alcohol abuse, his body was taking a beating. His rockstar years were wild: cocaine, heroin, booze, and countless near-death experiences, from overdoses to a 2003 quad bike accident that left him with broken bones. Yet, Ozzy was a fighter who refused to let his struggles define him. In 2022, he stunned the world with a surprise performance at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, joining Black Sabbath for a set that brought 30,000 fans to their feet. It was a middle finger to his health woes, proving he still had the fire. But the real pinnacle came on July 5, 2025, at Villa Park in Birmingham, with a concert called Back to the Beginning. Organized by Sharon, it was Ozzy's ultimate farewell. Despite his frail health, he rose from a bejeweled throne, complete with a bat on the armrest, because, come on, it's Ozzy, to perform alongside Black Sabbath and a jaw-dropping lineup: Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Slayer, Tool, Anthrax, Pantera, Alice in Chains, and more. The 42,000 fans roared as Ozzy, fighting back tears, said, "You've no idea how I feel. Thank you from the bottom of my heart." Giant screens flashed tributes from icons like Elton John, Dolly Parton, Billy Idol, Rod Stewart, Paul McCartney, and even Dave Grohl, all hailing Ozzy's influence. The show raised funds for Cure Parkinson's, Birmingham Children's Hospital, and Acorns Children's Hospice, showing that even in his final days, Ozzy was giving back. Birmingham MP Shabana Mahmood tweeted, "An honor to have celebrated the extraordinary life and legacy of Ozzy Osbourne just weeks ago. One of the greatest gifts my city gave the world. Birmingham forever." It was a goodbye that felt like destiny, a perfect full-circle moment in the city that shaped him. Ozzy's connection to Birmingham was the heartbeat of his story. Born into a working-class family, with a factory worker dad and a mom who made car parts, he grew up in a tough, industrial world that shaped his music's raw, gritty edge. Aston was no easy place. Poverty, hard labor, and a sense of grit were woven into its fabric. Even after moving to a glitzy LA mansion and living the Hollywood dream, Ozzy never lost his thick Brummie accent or his love for his hometown. He called Birmingham his heart, and he proved it by returning time and again, whether for a surprise set at the 2022 Commonwealth Games or that final, emotional Villa Park show. His music carried the clang of the factories, the weight of working-class struggle, but also a surprising tenderness. He was a massive Beatles fan, and when he met Paul McCartney, he gushed, thanking him for sparking his love for music. Tracks like Changes, especially his 2003 duet with daughter Kelly, revealed his emotional depth, a side that balanced the raw power of Paranoid, Iron Man, War Pigs, and Crazy Train. Those songs became anthems for rebels, misfits, and anyone who felt like they didn't fit in. His theatricality, leather jackets, crosses, purple sunglasses, and that iconic devil horns hand sign, which he popularized in the 70s, set the blueprint for rock showmanship. From 80s hair bands like Motley Crue and Poison to modern metal acts like Slipknot and System of a Down, every band with a flair for the dramatic owes Ozzy a nod. He didn't just perform, he created a world where fans could lose themselves. The heavy metal community is like a family, dark, loud, but fiercely loyal, and Ozzy was its beating heart. His passing has sparked a global wave of grief, from the pubs of Birmingham to the concert halls of Brazil, South America to Australia. Black Sabbath's Tony Iommi called him his brother, writing, "Ozzy was the spark that lit up our lives and heavy metal. I'll miss him forever." Stars like Metallica's James Hetfield, Megadeth's Dave Mustaine, Slash from Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson, and Pantera's Phil Anselmo shared tributes, calling him a trailblazer who gave them the courage to be themselves. Fans are flooding platforms like X with stories, drawing Black Sabbath logos on school books with paint pens, rocking out at Ozfest with devil horns raised, or finding solace in Mama, I'm Coming Home during tough times. Without Ozzy, there'd be no Metallica, no Iron Maiden, no grunge or thrash metal. He didn't just create a genre, he built a community united by loud guitars, raw emotion, and a love for sticking it to the mainstream. X-Posts show fans sharing clips of War Pigs, memes of Ozzy Osbourne's moments, like him chasing the cat, and heartfelt messages about how his music was their lifeline through heartbreak, loss, or just teenage angst. It's a testament to how deeply he connected with people through his unfiltered honesty, wicked humor, and larger-than-life spirit. Ozzy's legacy is a towering one, stretching far beyond music into every corner of pop culture. He invented heavy metal, turned rock shows into theatrical spectacles, and kicked off the reality TV craze that still dominates our screens. His awards, multiple Grammy wins for tracks like I Don't Want to Change the World, classic rock's living legend, and Me's Godlike Genius, the 2015 Ivor Novello Lifetime Achievement, are just the tip of the iceberg. What made Ozzy truly special was his humanity. He was brutally open about his battles with addiction, from cocaine and heroin to alcohol, surviving overdoses, arrests, and near-death experiences. His 2010 memoir, I Am Ozzy, is a hilarious, raw, and unflinching look at his life, from Birmingham streets to Hollywood's heights, and it's a must-read for any fan. He spoke candidly about his bipolar disorder, his time in rehab, and the guilt he felt over his wild years, especially how they affected Sharon and his kids. That vulnerability, long before it was mainstream to talk about mental health, made him a beacon for fans struggling with their own demons. His partnership with Sharon was a rock and roll love story for the ages. She managed his career, pulled him through the darkest times, and helped him shine brighter than ever. Their marriage wasn't perfect. They weathered publicized fights and a brief separation in 2016, but their loyalty endured. As a dad, Ozzy showed the world that even the Prince of Darkness could be a softie, whether joking with Kelly and Jack on the Osbournes or supporting Amy and Louis, who stayed out of the spotlight. From biting bats to bumbling around his mansion, Ozzy was unapologetically himself, and that's why he's a legend. Let's dive into some of those iconic moments that define Ozzy's legacy, because this man lived a life most can only dream of. There's the infamous bat incident, January 20th, 1982, in Des Moines, when he bit the head off a bat during a concert, thinking it was a rubber prop, or so he claimed. It shocked the world, got him banned from venues, and became rock legend. A year earlier, in 1981, he bit the head off a dove at a record label meeting, just to shake things up. Classic Ozzy, always pushing the limits, always stealing the spotlight. His 1980 solo tours were pure theater, with sets featuring castles, giant crosses, and Ozzy emerging from coffins or thrones. His 1996 creation, Ozzfest, became a metal institution, launching bands like System of a Down, Disturbed, and Lamb of God while giving fans a space to celebrate their love for heavy music. And then there's the Osbournes, with moments etched in pop culture history. Ozzy chasing his dogs around the mansion, ranting about noisy neighbors, or trying and failing to use a newfangled TV remote. Those scenes showed his humor and heart, making him relatable to millions who'd never heard Iron Man. His music catalog is a treasure trove: Black Sabbath's Master of Reality, 1971, Volume 4, 1972, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, 1973, and Sabotage, 1975, are metal blueprints, while solo tracks like Dreamer, 2001, I Don't Want to Stop, 2007, and his 2020 collab with Post Malone, Take What You Want, showed his versatility. Even in his 70s, albums like Ordinary Man, 2020, and Patient Number 9, 2022, featuring collabs with Elton John, Jeff Beck, and Tony Iommi, proved he was still pushing boundaries. Ozzy's influence on pop culture is impossible to overstate. He wasn't just a musician. He was a vibe, a movement, a way of life. His devil horns hand sign, which he started flashing in the 70s, became a universal symbol of rebellion, seen at concerts from Birmingham to Buenos Aires. His gothic style, black eyeliner, tattoos, crosses, and long black coats, inspired fashion trends that still echo in streetwear, metal subcultures, and even high fashion. The Osbournes didn't just launch reality TV, it made dysfunctional families relatable, showing that even rock stars deal with teenage drama, messy kitchens, and runaway pets. Sharon became a star in her own right, judging on The X Factor and America's Got Talent, while Kelly and Jack built careers in music, TV, and producing. Ozzy's openness about addiction and mental health, long before it was mainstream, paved the way for artists like Kurt Cobain or Kanye West to be vulnerable. He spoke candidly about his bipolar diagnosis, his multiple stints in rehab, and the guilt he felt over how his addiction hurt his family, especially Sharon, who stuck by him through it all. His 2010 memoir, I Am Ozzy, is a wild ride, funny, raw, and unflinching, chronicling everything from his Birmingham childhood to Hollywood success. It's a love letter to his fans, who he always said were his reason for keeping going. Ozzy's connection to his fans was something truly special. He didn't just perform for them, he lived for them. His concerts were like communal rituals, fans screaming lyrics, throwing up devil horns, and losing themselves in the music. He'd interact with crowds, dousing them with water or foam, making every show feel like a shared experience. His final Villa Park performance was the ultimate love letter, a moment where he poured out his gratitude to the 42,000 fans who'd stood by him for decades. Fans on X are sharing stories of meeting him, how he'd sign autographs for hours outside venues, pose for selfies despite being exhausted, or crack jokes about his own wild reputation. One fan posted about meeting Ozzy in 2010, saying he laughed off the bad incident, joking, "It didn't taste great, mate." That self-deprecating humor, that ability to laugh at his own chaos, made him endlessly relatable, even as a global icon. He was the guy who'd survived it all: drugs, scandals, health scares, and still showed up with a smirk and a devil horn. So, how do we keep Ozzy's spirit rocking? Blast Paranoid, Crazy Train, War Pigs, or Changes at full volume and let the riffs take over. Binge the Osbournes on streaming platforms for those iconic Sharon moments or Ozzy wrestling with technology. Grab a leather jacket, throw up those devil horns, and share your favorite Ozzy story in the comments. Maybe it's the first time Iron Man gave you goosebumps, the bad incident that blew your mind, or a concert where you felt alive. Ozzy's music, humor, and heart will echo forever, from Birmingham's gritty streets to every corner of the planet. If you're new to Trend Stars, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join our community for more tributes to icons and the latest celebrity scoops. Rest in peace, Ozzy. You are one of a kind, a true prince of darkness, and your legacy will scream on forever. Keep the metal alive, and we'll catch you in the next video. Let's wrap this up with one final salute to the man, the myth, the legend. From a Birmingham kid dreaming of music to a global icon who changed the world, Ozzy lived life louder than anyone. He gave us heavy metal, epic stage shows, a reality TV revolution, and a family we all felt part of. His story is one of grit, rebellion, heart, and unrelenting passion, a reminder to be unapologetically yourself, no matter what the world throws at you. So, let's keep his music blasting, his devil horns raised, and his spirit alive. Check out our other videos on music legends, celebrity throwbacks, and trending stories right here on Trend Stars. Hit that like button, share this tribute to spread the love, and let's keep Ozzy's legacy rocking. This is Trend Stars signing off. Stay loud, stay proud, and keep the metal alive.